Coming live from the Tivoli Met Radio studio here on Auraria campus, this is All Sports with Gerardo. Thank you for listening to All Sports through Met Radio on mymetmedia.com, live every Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. This is your host, Gerardo, and all I talk is sports. On the show today, I am going to talk about breaking news, Major League Baseball, NFL football, NBA basketball, and college football. So before I start the show, I hope you all had a great week. To start off with some breaking news, last week, the co-founder of Microsoft, alongside with Bill Gates, owner of the Seattle Seahawks and Portland Trail Blazers, died on October 15 at the age of 65. So just about 2 weeks ago, Paul Allen died, and according to multiple reports, Paul Allen's death certificate lists septic shock and leukemia as cause of death. Saints quarterback Drew Brees threw his 500 career touchdown. Drew Brees joined Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Tom Brady as the only 4 quarterbacks in the NFL to throw more than 500 touchdowns in their career. After beating the Ravens last Sunday, Drew Brees became the 3rd quarterback in the NFL to beat all 32 teams. Only Peyton Manning and Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre have beaten all 32 teams. Broncos quarterback Chad Kelly was arrested on Tuesday in Inglewood, Colorado. Following Chad Kelly's arrest on suspicion of first-degree criminal trespassing, the Broncos are not giving Chad Kelly another chance. On Wednesday, the Broncos released Chad Kelly. John Elway, Vance Joseph, and Joe Ellis reviewed all the information. The Broncos organization made a decision to release Chad Kelly, and the Broncos agreed that was the right choice. On Wednesday, Chad Kelly appeared in the Arapahoe County Courthouse after being released from custody on a $2,500 bond. According to Inglewood Police, Chad Kelly is being accused of illegally entering a home after being chased out by the homeowners. A short time later, officers searching the area found Chad Kelly a block away from the house in a black SUV. Also before the arrest, Chad Kelly was at Von Miller's Halloween party at the Gothic Theater, and Chad Kelly was involved in a physical altercation with a guest and security before being escorted out of the party. Chad Kelly was the last pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, since many teams didn't want to take a chance on him because of his off-field issues at Clemson and an altercation at a Buffalo nightclub in 2014. Chad Kelly will appear back in court on November 8 to hear his charges. Moving on now to Major League Baseball. The 2018 World Series started this week. The Boston Red Sox are heading to the World Series after winning the series 4-1 against the Houston Astros in the American League Championship Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers are heading to the World Series after winning the series 4-3 against the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Championship Series. The 2018 World Series will be the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Boston Red Sox. This year's World Series will be a great matchup. There will not be another World Series rematch between the Astros and Dodgers. The Astros won the World Series last year, so they're not going to win the World Series back-to-back years. Right now, I'm going to take a commercial break. When I come back, I will talk about the NFL.
Always desired to work in sports media? If so, Met Radio is the place for you. Come learn the ropes from the best you have at our station, see what it takes to do play-by-play for MSU Denver Athletics, and even earn the opportunity to host your own sports show. You always listen to the local radio heads around town and wish you could finally voice your opinion? Look no further. Met Radio is the place to be heard. Come visit us in Tivoli Suite 313 and see how you can be a part of the Met Radio sports team. We know you're sitting in traffic right now, wishing that someone would tell you all about the sports topics you love.
Every single day my life has been worse than
Well, good news, everyone. Go to mymetmedia.com/listen and check out the Met Sports Show. We have sports. 1, it's a bad place to live. 2, it's a terrible team. And 3, it can ruin your career. We have food. Definitely encourage all of you to try the Nutella donut. We have the 3 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time slot on lockdown. The Met Sports Show, only on Met Radio.
Welcome back to All Sports with Gerardo. Moving on now to NFL football. After the Denver Broncos lost their last 4 games in a row, the Broncos blew out the Arizona Cardinals last Thursday 45-10. Von Miller and the defense helped the Broncos dominate Josh Rosen and the Cardinals. Josh Rosen had 3 interceptions. The Cardinals' offense and defense didn't show up. Emmanuel Sanders had 102 yards. He threw and caught a touchdown pass. Philip Lindsay had a great game with 90 yards. Cortland Sutton had a touchdown from Emmanuel Sanders. Todd Davis had an interception. Bradley Roby had an interception. Chris Harris had an interception. Bradley Chubb had 2 sacks. And Von Miller had a big game. He played great, and he had 2 sacks. Just because the Broncos won doesn't mean anyone's jobs are 100% safe. The Broncos' next game is against the Chiefs, and their schedule gets tough going forward. This was a must-win game for the Broncos and Cardinals because the Broncos were 2-4 and the Cardinals were 1-5. Whatever team won this game, their jobs were safe for now, but whoever lost this game, their jobs were in jeopardy. Last Friday, the Cardinals fired offensive coordinator Mike McCoy. Brian Leftwich is taking over as the new offensive coordinator for the Cardinals. For a second year in a row, Mike McCoy has been fired as the offensive coordinator for a team. Mike McCoy was the Broncos' offensive coordinator last year, and he was fired by the Broncos during the middle of the season because of the Broncos' record and their lack of offense. Andy Reid becomes the 9th head coach in NFL history to reach 200 wins. Patrick Mahomes continues to shine, and the Chiefs are not good just because of Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs have a great offense, which includes Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. With the Chiefs having an elite quarterback, a great offense, and Andy Reid as their head coach with playoff experience, that's the reason why the Chiefs are 6-1. Raiders running back Marshawn Lynch is expected to miss the rest of the season due to a groin injury. With the Raiders being without their best offensive player beast mode, running back Doug Martin will fill in for Marshawn Lynch since he will land on injured reserve. So far, it's been a disappointing season for the Raiders. Multiple players are unhappy and have questioned head coach John Gruden's accountability after trading Amari Cooper and Khalil Mack. This year's NFL trade deadline is Tuesday, October 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The Raiders traded wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round pick. The Raiders have also shown interest in trading quarterback Derek Carr. Right now I'm going to take a commercial break. When I come back, I will talk about the rest of the NFL.
Sports director at Met Radio. Have you always desired to work in sports media? If so, Met Radio is the place for you. Come learn the ropes from the best we have at our station, see what it takes to do play-by-play for MSU Denver Athletics, and even earn the opportunity to host your own sports show. You always listen to the local radio heads around town and wish you could finally voice your opinion? Look no further. Met Radio is the place to be heard. Come visit us in Tiffany Suite 313 to see how you can be a part of the Met Radio sports team. We know you're sitting in traffic right now, wishing that someone would tell you all about the sports topics you love.
Every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it.
Well, good news, everyone. Go to mymetmedia.com/listen and check out the Met Sports Show. We have sports. 1, it's a bad place to live. 2, it's a terrible team. And 3, it can ruin your career. We have food. Definitely encourage all of you to try the Nutella donut. We
We have the 3 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time slot on lockdown. The Med Sports Show, only on Med Radio.
Welcome back to All Sports with Gerardo. Moving on now, I'm going to give you the final scores from the 7 week of regular season football. So to start off, the Denver Broncos versus the Arizona Cardinals. The final score, the Broncos win 45-10. The Tennessee Titans versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The final score, the Chargers win 20-19. The Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The final score, the Texans win 20-7. Carolina Panthers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The final score, the Panthers win 21-17. The Minnesota Vikings versus the New York Jets. The final score, the Vikings win 37-17. The New England Patriots versus the Chicago Bears. The final score, the Patriots win 38-31. The Buffalo Bills versus the Indianapolis Colts. The final score, the Colts win 37-5. The Cleveland Browns versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The final score, the Buccaneers win 26-23. The Detroit Lions versus the Miami Dolphins. The final score, the Lions win 32-21. The New Orleans Saints versus the Baltimore Ravens. The final score, the Saints win 24-23. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins. The final score, the Redskins win 20-17. The Los Angeles Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. The final score, the Rams win 39-10. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The final score, the Chiefs win 45-10. And the New York Giants versus the Atlanta Falcons. The final score, the Falcons win 23-20. So that's all the final scores from the 7 week of regular season football. The highlights from this week: the Giants-Falcons game was a close game. The Falcons were able to pull this win out at the end. The Bengals-Chiefs game, the Chiefs blew out the Bengals. The Rams-49ers game, the Rams blew out the 49ers, and now they're 7-0, and they remain as the only undefeated team in the NFL. The Cowboys-Redskins game was a close game. The Redskins were able to pull out this win at the end. The Saints-Ravens game was a close game. The Saints were able to pull out this win at the end. Drew Brees becomes the 4th quarterback to throw over 500 touchdowns. He's also the 3rd quarterback to beat all 32 teams. So congrats to Drew Brees. The Browns-Buccaneers game was a close game. The Buccaneers were able to win this game at the end. Baker Mayfield was really mad that the Browns weren't able to come back and win this game. The Bills-Colts game, the Colts blew out the Bills. The Patriots-Bears game, it was a close game. The Patriots were able to pull off this win at the end of the game. Vikings-Jets game, the Vikings were able to blow out the Jets, and the Jets weren't that great on offense this week. The Panthers-Eagles game, the Panthers were able to pull off this win. The Texans-Jaguars game, the Texans were able to blow out the Jaguars, and there's a lot of questions surrounding quarterback Blake Bortles, whether he's going to start or if they're going to replace him. The Titans-Chargers game, it was a close game. It was played in London. The Chargers were able to pull off this win at the end. Actually, the Titans had a chance to tie this game or take the lead and potentially win this game. They scored a touchdown, and they took the chance of trying to go for a 2-point conversion, but they weren't able to convert the 2 points. And if they would have tied the game with an extra point, this game probably would have went to overtime, but because they took the risk, they weren't able to win this game at the end. The Broncos-Cardinals game, the Broncos blew out the Cardinals. The Broncos played great on offense. Emmanuel Sanders threw a touchdown pass to Cortland Sutton. Also, the Broncos defense played great, especially Von Miller. He had some big plays, and there were a lot of interceptions. So hopefully the way the Broncos played against the Cardinals can transition to the Chiefs game this Sunday. Looking at the current division standings in both the AFC and the NFC, right now in the AFC East, the Patriots are leading this division at 5 games, but the Dolphins are sitting at 4 games. In the AFC North, right now the Steelers are leading this division, but the Bengals and Ravens are right behind them at 4 games. In the AFC South, the Texans are leading this division at 4 games, but the Titans and Jaguars are right behind at 3 games. In the AFC West, the Chiefs are leading this division at 6 games. Keep an eye out on the Chargers. They're at 5 games and they've been winning lately. In the NFC East, the Redskins are leading this division at 4 games. The Eagles and Cowboys are at 3 games. In the NFC North, the Vikings are leading this division at 4 games. The Packers, Lions, and Bears are right behind at 3 games. In the NFC South, the Saints are leading this division at 5 games. And the Panthers are right behind at 4 games. In the NFC West, the Rams are leading this division at 7 games. They're 7-0 right now. They're the undefeated team in the NFL. And it's looking like the Seahawks, Cardinals, and 49ers really don't have a chance at catching the Rams for the division. The only one that kind of has a chance is the Seahawks, sitting at 3 games. So, looking ahead to the 8th week of regular season football, to start off, the Falcons, Cowboys, Chargers, and Titans are on their bye week. Tonight on Thursday Night Football, we got the Miami Dolphins versus the Houston Texans. On Sunday, we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs, the Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Washington Redskins versus the New York Giants, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Cincinnati Bengals, the New York Jets versus the Chicago Bears, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Carolina Panthers, the Indianapolis Colts versus the Oakland Raiders, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals, the Green Bay Packers versus the Los Angeles Rams. On Sunday Night Football, we got the New Orleans Saints versus the Minnesota Vikings. And on Monday Night Football, we got the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. So that's all the matchups for the 8th week of football. What to watch for this week of football? Can the Patriots beat the Bills? Can the Saints beat the Vikings? And how many more touchdowns and yards is Drew Brees going to add to his resume? The Packers-Rams game is going to be a big game. Can the Rams win at home and remain undefeated and go 8-0? Can the Cardinals bounce back this week and beat the 49ers? So far, it's been a disappointing season for the Raiders. They've lost games that they should have won, and they've been blown out a few times. So can they bounce back at home this week and beat the Colts? We're going to have to wait and see. Also, is another player going to get traded from the Raiders? Derek Carr or another big name? Do we need to keep an eye on head coach John Gruden and the decisions he makes? This is a wait-and-see situation. Can the Bears beat the Jets at home and bounce back after losing to the Patriots? In the NFC East, we got a big matchup between the Redskins and Giants. Who's going to win this game? We got another big matchup. The Browns versus the Steelers. Can the Browns go into Pittsburgh and pull off this win? They're pretty close at home when they faced the Steelers the last time, so let's see if they can beat them this time with quarterback Baker Mayfield. After the Chiefs being on Sunday Night Football for 2 weeks in a row, how's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going to play against the Broncos? Can the Broncos continue to play the way they did against the Cardinals and play great defense, score points on offense? Can they go into Arrowhead and pull off this win and surprise the Chiefs? We're going to have to wait and see. Arrowhead is definitely a hard place to play. In the Eagles-Jaguars game, can the Eagles go into Jacksonville and pull off this win? Is Blake Bortles going to be the quarterback for the Jaguars, or are they going to make a switch? So that's what to watch for in the 8 week of regular season football. So moving on now. Right now I'm going to take a commercial break. When I come back, I will talk about the NBA, college football, and the end of the show.
Sports director at Met Radio. Have you always desired to work in sports media? If so, Met Radio is the place for you. Come learn the ropes from the best we have at our station, see what it takes to do play-by-play for MSU Denver Athletics, and even earn the opportunity to host your own sports show. You always listen to the local radio heads around town and wish you could finally voice your opinion? Look no further. Met Radio is the place to be heard. Come visit us in Tiddley Suite 313 to see how you can be a part of the Met Radio sports team.
We know you're sitting in traffic right now, wishing that someone would tell you all about the sports topics you love.
Every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it.
Well,
Good news, everyone.
go to mymetmedia.com/listen and check out the Met Sports Show. We have sports.
1, it's a bad place to live. 2, it's a terrible team. And 3, it can ruin your career.
We have food.
Definitely encourage all of you to try the Nutella donut.
We have the 3 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time slot on lockdown. The Met Sports Show, only on Met Radio.
Welcome back to All Sports with Gerardo. Moving on now to NBA basketball. LeBron James isn't worried about the Lakers' slow start. He said, "It will be fine." In LeBron James' debut with the Lakers, he had 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists, but they lost a close game to the Portland Trail Blazers, 128-119. With LeBron surrounded by new teammates and playing in the Western Conference, it's going to take time for LeBron to get used to wearing the purple and gold uniform and battling against the tough Western Conference teams more often. For the Lakers, anything can happen, so we're going to have to wait and see because they can have a great season or a bad season, but the predictions for the 2018-2019 Lakers is to make it into the playoffs as a lower seed and hopefully make it to the second round. This season the Lakers want to play better basketball and make it into the playoffs, but they know it's going to be an adjustment year and LeBron needs to get used to playing with the Lakers' current roster. But the only way the Lakers can be successful this season is by the young Lakers stars Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram playing good basketball. The Lakers are Also looking forward to next offseason during free agency because there are a lot of potential big name free agents that will be on the market or opt out of their player option, which may include Klay Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, Eric Bledsoe, Isaiah Thomas, Rajon Rondo, and many other players. Next summer, we will have to wait and see which big-name players test the free agency market. But the Lakers are going to be aggressive in next year's free agency because they want to get the big-name free agents to play for the Lakers. The Lakers' first home game was at the Staples Center against the Houston Rockets. The Rockets won the game 124-115, but that wasn't the highlight of this game. During Saturday's showdown, there was a brawl between Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo, and Brandon Ingram. The fight started with over 4 minutes remaining in the game, and Brandon Ingram shoved James Harden. Chris Paul put a finger in Rajon Rondo's face. Rajon Rondo punched Chris Paul. Brandon Ingram threw additional punches, and then LeBron came in to break up the fight and hold Chris Paul back. Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo, and Brandon Ingram were ejected from the game following the fight. So Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo, and Brandon Ingram are going to be suspended a few games. Brandon Ingram, 4 games. Rajon Rondo, 3 games. And Chris Paul, 2 games. The NBA is investigating the brawl between the Lakers and Rockets, but multiple reports say Rajon Rondo spitted in Chris Paul's face. The NBA is investigating the video, and Carmelo said Rajon Rondo did spit on Chris Paul. To start off the NBA regular season, the Nuggets are currently 4-0, and they beat the NBA champions Golden State Warriors over the weekend. The Nuggets' first 2 home games at the Pepsi Center were between the Suns and Warriors. Both games were sold out, and the Nuggets defeated the NBA champions Golden State Warriors 100-98 at the end of the game. Nikola Jokic recorded a triple-double during the Suns game, but Will Barton was carted off the court during the Suns game. The MRI confirmed Will Barton was diagnosed with a groin strain after feeling something pop when he took off for the basket during the third quarter. On Tuesday, Will Barton had surgery on his right hip, and he's expected to miss 6 weeks. Moving on now to college football. Last Saturday, CU lost to Washington 27-13. Currently in the college football top 25, the top 10 college teams are Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, Michigan, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida, and UCF. Currently, the top 4 college teams are at number 1, Alabama, number 2, Clemson, number 3, Notre Dame, and number 4, LSU. There's still a lot of college football to be played. These top 4 college teams can change week by week. Ohio State was in the top 4, and they moved down all the way to 11, so I could see these teams changing, but I could also see some of these teams remaining in the top 4, especially Alabama. So it's really going to come down to if these teams win or lose. Moving on now to end the show, what to watch for this week in sports. The 2018 World Series is between the Dodgers and Red Sox. The Red Sox are up 2-0 against the Dodgers. The series goes to Los Angeles this weekend. The Red Sox have a chance at winning the World Series this weekend. The Red Sox are playing great baseball right now. They're scoring runs. Their pitching is great. Chris Sale pitched great. David Price pitched great as well. He continued that from the championship series when he won it for the Red Sox to become the American League champions. So they're playing great right now. Their lineup's great. especially their pitchers in the bullpen. They're playing some great baseball right now. The series is going back to Los Angeles, so it was really cold up in Boston at Fenway Park. It's supposed to be really warm in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium, so now that the series is going to Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers have a chance and they could play different baseball being at home. So we're gonna have to wait and see how the lineup's gonna look for the Dodgers, who's gonna pitch, can they score some runs and pitch better, especially their bullpen pitchers when they come in after the starters pulled out. So I'm really looking forward to the World Series. The Red Sox are a great team, so I definitely could see them winning the World Series. CU's next game is this Saturday against Oregon State up in Boulder. The 8th week of regular season football. The Broncos' next game is at the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday. Moving on now, in the next show, I will talk about the World Series, the Broncos, Major League Baseball, NFL football, NBA basketball, NHL hockey, and college football. I hope you all have a great weekend. And I want to say thank you to everybody that listens to All Sports through Met Radio here on mymetmedia.com. Until next time, this is Gerardo.